All Progressive Congress in Delta State says the state government's history is marred by a string of bad leaders who have prioritized personal gain over development. The Delta APC Publicity Secretary, Valentine Onojehuo, made the remark in a statement to mark the 33rd year of the creation of the state. According to the APC, the likes of Uduaghan, Okowa, and Sheriff Uvoriwori have left indelible marks of misgovernance with a legacy of debts, decay, and despoliation. He said, Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan's administration left a staggering debt profile of over 600 billion, while Dr. Ifa Yokowa's tenure was marked by reckless borrowing, with over 1.2 trillion naira received in 13% derivation funds and nothing to show for it. The current governor, Honorable Sheriff Uvoriwori, has continued this trend, taking a 40 billion naira loan as his first official act and boasting of a MORE agenda that promises more of the same. His administration's only achievements are the Efurun and Enehen flyover projects, a meager feat considering the state's vast resources. For over 20 years, Delta State has been governed by charlatans who have manipulated the electoral process to seize power and unleash a reign of despoliation. The state's infrastructure lies in decay, crime rates are rising, and poverty levels are alarming. The Ueli-Asaba Expressway, flagged off 16 years ago, remains uncompleted. Governmental agencies have become mere shells for settling political cronies, with budget allocations shared among members as compensatory payments for working for the party's victory. The APC, which joined millions of Deltans in celebrating the 33rd anniversary of the state's creation, also said, the 33rd anniversary is a sober reminder of the missed opportunities and wasteful mismanagement of our resources. It is a call to action to end bad governance in Delta State and build a state that Deltans can truly be proud of. Asim, what is your take on this story?
Well, thank you. I think the APC, in my opinion, has summarized what Delta State is all about. But I believe that there are some gains made by previous administrations from 1999 to date, but those gains are not as profitable and huge as the misfortunes that they left. For instance, the Delta State was a creation from the old Bende State, wherein Edo and Delta now came out. And since that creation, I have been visiting Asaba, which is the capital of Delta State. Before Delta State was created, and after Delta State was created, I have visited Asaba. And quite unfortunately, Asaba has been like a glorified, city, or how will I put it? Asaba is just like a civil service town, whereas Delta State is an oil-producing state. Asaba ought to be a bustling economic center in the South-South region, to the extent that many people would have taken Asaba as their home, before you cross the Niger or even after you cross the Niger Bridge. But I dare say that this is not so as it is. It will interest you to know that Asaba has the highest rate of youths who indulge in Yahoo, as they call them, unemployed youths who flock that particular city with pride and glee. They move around city centers and the streets, with impunity, towards taking over the economic aspect of the state. One of my friends once referred to Asaba as a Yahoo state. And I told him, I said, well, you cannot label Asaba like that because the youths are largely unemployed. That is why they have to seek other means available to them for them to make ends meet, even though they have to go the negative way. Government is at its lowest ebb in data. Is it Warri you're talking about? Warri used to be a bustling town. Warri used to compete with Lagos and Port Harcourt and some other cities in the now South. Warri used to be a haven for oil companies, etc., as the case may be. But Warri today, as I speak, is living in its past glory. It's a shadow of its old self. To the extent that the estates share, these oil companies, estates, etc., and servicing companies in Warri, it's gone down. Warri used to have an airport, what they call an airstrip, and they also had a seaport. But none of that is working. And Warri is part of Delta State. Is it Ughelli? When you go to Ughelli is lacking infrastructure. Ughelli also has a high level of unemployment. Ughelli, mind you, was one of the biggest, towns or cities in the then Bende State. When you mention Warri, you mention Asaba, you must mention Ughelli as the next port of call in the old Bende State. And we thought that, because the creation of the Delta State, that Ughelli was going to be a cosmopolitan city that will thrive and bustle in economic activities. But none of that is taking place as I speak to you. So it's so sad. Is it Ozoro, the Isoko side of Delta State you talk about, that, where some of the oil wells are embedded, etc. It's a squalor, a large squalor, in a geographical expression. So these are things we have seen. And I found out also that apart from the relative stability in terms of succession of power in Delta State, that is, Warri handed over to Uduaghan handed over to whoever the case may be, I have not seen any stability in governance and administration in Delta State. So it is not far-fetched, and a summary of what the APC said is what actually Delta State is right now. Mm-hmm. And I believe that it's a sorry sight that if you look at Delta State, if you look at the states on the South, in every time they want to share revenue allocation for the federation account, Delta State is either number 1 or number 2. They have never gone below number 2 in the sharing formula of allocation and derivation. So why can't governors there propel that particular state, to a glorious state that will be proud of in the South region, if not Nigeria? So it's sad.
Now, with APC slamming PDP and, the actions of the PDP governors in the past and present, of course. Now, the question will be, is APC a better alternative?
APC is not a better alternative. And I don't know any other party that is a better alternative. Because the problem we have in Nigeria is that we don't have political parties. We have a collection of businessmen who pose as politicians, who forum shop, shout at the highest voices they get because they want to get something in return for whatever they are doing. Look at the landscape populated by politicians and not statesmen. So the option for Delta State, for me, is not even the APC. Because if you look at it, most of the members in APC were former members of PDP. Mm-hmm. Most of the members in PDP were former members of APC in Delta State. So it's the same one and the same, kettle of fish. And I think, like they said in the Bible, is it wine in an old skin or old skin in a wine, new wine, I don't understand, but something close to that.
Old
so
wine
in a new skin. You find that is the situation we find in that place. In Delta State, I believe that the atmosphere politically, like I stated, is governed mainly by the PDP government. And the reason has not been that there are no alternatives for voters or citizens of this particular state for them to delve into, but they see the other alternative as the same people who are oppressing them. If people give the APC the opportunity, I do not even think that there will be anything different in governance and administration. So it's just in a state of flux. They move from year to year and it continues going, but no particular movement has been made. And there is no room for alternative, and there's no conscious belief on the voters that when they go the other way, that they will get succor.
Well, sad reality there for Delta State. And then we move on to Edo State.